Mr. Haynes, how you doing?
Hey, hey, first of all, man, look, man, I feel underdressed, man. You got the suit on. I'm coming in a do-rag, man.
Now, I
Come
I
on,
got a
bro.
I got kind of a funny story. So I did IG live with Carrie Champion, right?
Okay, that's what's up. That's
And
what's
I
sis.
ironically I had a do rag on the very first time I talked to her,
Okay.
and she was kind of clowning me, and I was like, "Look, you have my word. The next time you see me, it's gonna be in a suit and tie." So it's funny how these roles is reversed today.
Hey,
You
man.
have see, guess what? You can wear a do rag because you already got a contract. Me,
Hey,
on the other hand, I'm trying to get to where you at, so I gotta look like this.
hey, I feel you, man. Hey, I feel you. Hey, but if you get Carrie Champion on your IG live, you better wear a suit. So you doing it right.
Oh yeah,
You doing
Carrie
it
got
right.
me. Oh yeah,
You doing
she
it
she
right.
Oh yeah, she definitely got me, and I made sure to be on my best behavior the next time I saw her. So
No, that's what's up, my guy. How's everything going, man?
going pretty good, can't complain. I definitely appreciate you for taking this time out. You're a very busy man, currently covering the NBA inside the bubble right now. How's that coming?
It's all right, man. I just got done eating dinner. Um, so I'm just chilling for the most part, man. Just covered a couple of practices and just get ready for the season, get me started. So like it's just chill right now, chill mode, but still trying to get the lay of the land around here.
How's everybody looking in practice? Because I have had a chance to watch a couple of your lives.
Everybody's looking good. Everybody's energetic. They're motivated. Usually that's how most teams look when they start training camp back up. Everybody has high hopes, and until that first game comes and reality hits about just how good or how bad your team is. But so far so good as of right now, man.
Who have been some of the key guys that have been standing out active practices, like the Anthony Davises, like the Kawhis, or people like that?
The guys that are standing out. Look, I'll say LeBron's looking really good, man. It looks like he didn't take any time off during this hiatus, man. He looks really good. AD looks good. Damian Lillard looks good. Those are the three guys, star players who I've able to, be able to see some workouts. I was able to see some of those workouts even before they got to here to Orlando to see how guys were, staying in shape, and they're looking really good, man.
Has there been anyone that came to the workouts or came to the practices that you were like, man, like you spent all this time off and you didn't do anything, like they came sluggish? Because I'm just curious
Hey,
now. Brother's been off about 4 months. I know everybody ain't been getting them shots up.
yeah, hey, first of all, before I answer that, where are you from, man?
I'm from Youngstown, Ohio.
Ohio, huh? Okay,
Yes,
all
sir.
right. I was trying to figure out that little twang you got in that voice, man. Like you got a southern twang there, right?
I mean, I got family from down south,
Okay,
but yeah, Youngstown, Ohio, born and raised, South Side.
no doubt, no doubt. I spent some time in South Euclid, Ohio, when I used to cover the Cavs. But no, guys, look, no, I can't really name any names on that. I can't say. Look, we only get to watch the last 15 minutes of practice, and
Wow.
so at that point, guys are just shooting around, just going through shooting drills. So you can't really tell who's really in shape or not.
That's kind of interesting, but also because everyone's still trying to follow the safety protocols. How many media members are there in the bubble?
It's about, hey John, how many media members are here total? Yeah, about probably 20, 25 media members. I was one of I was uh, one of four media members to get here early. I got here actually late June, so it was two reporters, me and Malika Andrews of ESPN, and then it was our producers. So my boy John right here, John, John
Hey, what's
right.
up, John? I love that watch.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, that's the Disney watch, man. That's what this right here, man. You can't leave without this wrist watch right here. So I've been here 3 weeks already, man, and so I pretty much seen it all.
In that 3 week period, are you losing your mind yet? Or are you just trying to stay
I'm
sane?
getting
Or you
there.
like, I'm
I'm getting there.
about to say,
Getting
because
there.
I can only imagine y'all been there for 3 weeks. You like maybe first couple days was cool. After that, you like, all right, I got to do something else.
Yeah, I'm getting there. And the league just cut off like before, so it was me and Malika here before, and we had free range to roam whole campus here. And so when the other media members cleared quarantine Sunday, they cut off the campus. So we have a certain section, a certain area that we have to stay in. And, it really cut off the campus. So we just really, it's not much. It's cool, but we don't have, so I'm in a little cafe area right now. This is where me and my partner spend most of our time at. It's either here, you're in the fitness center or you in your room. That's pretty much the options now.
Since there aren't many options, you spend most of your time trying to figure out new ways to just make new of what's considered the new normal. How much has COVID affected you as a reporter?
It's definitely had an impact. Obviously the day-to-day routine of how you get interviews, how you secure interviews. Zoom calls are the new press scrum norms now. So no longer are media members camped around the player asking questions. No longer are we in the locker room. Hopefully, when the pandemic goes away, things can get back to normal. But I mean, there's very good reason why this could potentially be the new norm permanently.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate. But as far as how I do my job, man, I have my contacts and I have ways of getting to them beyond, the NBA setup. So it's had an effect, but it hasn't killed me.
How long have you been covering the NBA?
So this is 10 years now. I'm on my 10th year.
In that 10-year period, how much have you grown as a reporter?
Oh, tremendously, man. Tremendously. When I first got in, I didn't know what I was doing. I can honestly say I wasn't ready, but I had a work ethic and I had a determination to get better. And so I was able to, gain inroads in the profession and get to the point where I am now. But no, definitely. I mean, if you're not growing and evolving as a professional in any field, you're probably not doing it right.
Can you remember the first player that gave you your first interview?
Yes, I can. It was, I don't know if you remember him. It was, listen, Carl, this sucks. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. He played for the Rockets, played for, man. It's slipping my mind. Hey, give me 10 seconds. Carl Landry, man. That was, he played for the Rockets. He had a couple stints somewhere, man, but he was a real solid power forward back in the day. But he was my first one-on-one interview I had, and it was a big story back then because he talked about wanting to play for the Blazers, and that's the team I came up covering.
Yes.
First. That was my first gig. So I did 3 or 4 years with Portland before I moved on.
How did you even get a chance to start covering the NBA? Like, what were the steps that you took to get there?
Man, my steps are unique, just like a lot of people nowadays with the resources of social media and blogs out there. There's other avenues of getting to this point. But I remember when I was trying to get into the league, when I wanted to cover the NBA, I started just pitching stories to different publications. And I'm from Fresno, California, so I'm not in the NBA market. And long story short, man, because I told the story a lot of times. Long story short, Slam Magazine said they couldn't pay me, but if you move to an NBA market, they can work with me and they can get me credentialed. So that's what I did. So I moved to Portland, and to make ends meet, I got a security guard job at a high school in an apartment complex. So I did that for a whole year. So during the day, I was a security guard. At night, I wouldn't cover games for Slam Magazine. It was for free, but like I said, I was making inroads within the profession, breaking some news, getting really good one-on-one, unique stories and concepts. So it played off. And after that year working for free, Comcast Sportsnet Northwest, which is now NBC Sports Northwest, they're the television home of the Portland Trailblazers. They were hiring for a beat writer, and I got the job. So that's basically how it happened.
How strong was your faith in that year of freelancing?
I was determined, man. I was determined. Like it was nothing but God in that situation, because I think had I chosen to go to any other market, I don't think I am where I'm at right now. Like it just worked out to where the scenarios just fit perfectly for what I was doing at that time. Like when I went to Portland, I was the only media member in that market of color. So automatically, when I walk into a locker room, the players are looking like, "Damn, who's this dude? Like, who's this cat?" And so, that's something they'd never seen before, really, in Portland, Oregon. And that definitely helped me, to gather relationships and gain trust over time after they seen how I operated in my field. Uh, but that was it took a time. It took a while for me to establish my pattern on how to do this job, but my faith was, man, I was determined, man. Like I was just like I was going in there for the kill. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I was just like, man, I'm gonna give this a year. Like I'm gonna give this a year. Maybe I might have gave it another year, but I was like, let me give this a year or two and see what I got. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I was hungry, man. I was relentless.
Being relentless landed you the job in Portland. Since we're talking about the NBA, do you believe Portland is going to make the eighth seed in this upcoming playoffs?
They got shot. They definitely got shot. With New Orleans having the easiest schedule in this restart, but right now they're without Zion Williamson, who's handling a personal matter. We don't know if he's going to get back in time. We don't know. We don't know his situation. So now Portland's a threat. If they get in, to me, they're one of the most serious teams in the league. Like I think they have the potential to give the Lakers to go to distance with the Lakers. They're healthy. They got Yusuf Nurkic back. They got Zach Collins back. This team is looking really good. They're thirsty. Dame, I've kept in contact with him throughout the hiatus. He was working hard, man. He's trying to get them a championship. And if they're able to get past the Lakers, obviously I still favor the Lakers. But if they're able to get past the Lakers, I wouldn't be surprised to see Portland in the finals.
In the East, who do you have coming out?
I got Milwaukee coming out, but you can't dismiss Toronto, and you can't dismiss the Boston Celtics. But the way this restart is situated and shaped, there's a potential scenario for a Cinderella team to just overthrow this. It's similar to the 99, I believe it's the 98, 99 season when the New York Knicks were the eighth seed. It was the lockout. It was a lockout shortened season that year. And the Knicks, the eighth seed, got all the way to the finals. Like, this is how this season is how that can play out. I can see a team like Houston getting hot, going all the way. Portland getting hot, going all the way. And you could see Toronto. They got confidence. Defending champs can go in there and create havoc. And I'm gonna mention another team that I don't have the utmost confidence in, but like I said, you just get on a tear at the right time. The Philadelphia 76ers. You never know. So this restart has the potential to see some weird stuff occur.
It really does. And I'm just glad that basketball will be coming back. And one of the biggest talks right now is the MVP. Everyone's wondering who is it going to be, Giannis or LeBron. If you had to choose right now who's the MVP with everything that's been going on, who would you go with?
Well, I have a vote, and so they just gave us our ballot tonight. So I don't want to just say who I'm gonna vote for. I have to because we gotta do the voting based off of the way the season ended. So that was in March. So I got to do my research and study a little bit more. I remember LeBron was on the stretch, man. He was I think LeBron was on a tear in the last couple weeks or so.
He was.
Yeah, if my mind serves me correctly. Um, so I got to see how long that tear was. Go back and study. But I know Giannis was just playing solid all the way throughout, playing the lowest minutes of his career and still just dominating. Milwaukee have the best record in the league, so you can't discount that. So I got to do my research before I put my vote in.
Who are your top 5 players in the league right now?
In order or just give me five?
Just give me five.
All right. LeBron, Giannis, Harden, AD, Kawhi.
Since you brought Kawhi up, do you feel that this time off is really going to be beneficial to him and the Clippers when the postseason starts?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, he was able to get an extended load management period on, during the hiatus.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure. The numbers show when he rests, he's outstanding out there. So I think this bodes well for the Clippers for sure, as well as Kawhi.
As someone that has been covering the NBA for over 10 years, what does that feel like for you? Like when you're covering the games, when you get a chance to do post game, like interviews after the games with people like LeBron James and James Harden. Like, how does that stuff feel for you?
Uh, it's funny. I get asked that a few times, and like I'm so much in a grind. Like I enjoy the day-to-day process of just coming up with a unique story, breaking a story, you know, performing well in an interview setting, asking the right questions. Like I'm so involved in the process that like sometimes I don't really just sit back and think about everything that I've accomplished. Like I told you right
Yeah.
now, I've been doing it for 10 years now, and it doesn't seem anywhere near 10 years. And so it's one of those things where it's probably going to take to where I'm getting close to exiting this profession, or when I retire, that it won't, that it'll hit me at that point. Like, damn, like you were able to do some cool things. Like, so it's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's cool, but it's like every time something good happens, you got to move to the next one, move to the next story, the next city, so that's pretty much how it is.
What has been your favorite moment covering the NBA in the last 10 years?
Last 10 years, I think it was pretty special to watch what I think will go down as one of the greatest rivalries in all of sports, the Warriors and Cavs, because I covered. So when LeBron announced he was going back to Cleveland, I got the job in Cleveland with the Cleveland Plain Dealer. So I covered the Cavaliers the first 2 years. Um, I was covering the Cavs when they came back from a 3-1 deficit and won the championship. Then after those 2 years, I went to ESPN and covered the Warriors. So I covered the Warriors for 2 years. So that whole 4-year span, I covered both teams. I'm the only writer in the country who's covered both of those teams during that time, so as a beat writer. And so I was able to gain valuable perspective on the series. And, one day I'll write a book on that, what it was like to cover both sides. But, that's probably the most unique experience to being a part of that rivalry and just seeing how Golden State came out of nowhere. Remember, I was covering the Cavs, and when LeBron made his decision to come back to Cleveland, the storyline for the most of the early season was about the Cavs. Nobody seen Golden State coming.
At all.
I remember when Golden State was making their run, when Stephen Curry was shooting threes and turning around, going the other way before the ball even went through the basket. Like they were having fun doing all that stuff. And I remember when the Cavs started focusing in on the Warriors, because we would, the Cavs play before West Coast games, obviously. So there will be a point where the Cavs will finish playing. We'll go in the Cavs locker room after the game, and they'll be watching the Warriors. The Warriors be playing.
Wow.
And so that's when it was like, okay, they got the Cavs' attention. And so that was the start of a rivalry and the start of some tension between those two teams before they even faced off.
That's a very interesting perspective. I don't think anyone has ever even said that publicly. So I think that's, pretty cool. You're covering the league right now. Who do you have as the champions to come out of the entire NBA?
I mean, it's between, look, I'm not trying to disrespect the East teams right now, but, it's between Clippers and Lakers, man. And I go back and forth depending on the day. They're just, I got to see right now it's going to be about health. Who's healthy at the right time. And now that we're in this position, the NBA is doing a hell of a job with the safety protocols and safety measures. You know, since last week, nobody on this campus has tested positive. Well, no players, I should say. No players, no media that I can recall have tested positive since last week. So that's saying something. That's over 300 individuals right there. So that's showing that what they're doing around here works. But you know, we don't know. Like, what if somebody does test positive at the wrong time during the finals? That can kill everything. You know, that can kill the team chances depending on who did test positive. So there's all type of elements that can play a factor in the end results of these games. So I got the Lakers and Clippers first and foremost, and I got Milwaukee right there. But I think either way, when it's all said and done, I think we'll see a really good NBA Finals.
I'll definitely be watching it. Before we get out of here, if anyone like myself wanted to follow in your footsteps, like covering the league, covering sports, period, what advice would you give them? Because my dream is to cover the NBA.
To do what?
My dream is to cover the NBA and be a reporter like yourself,
Got you.
like Chris
Got you.
Broussard, like
I,
Stephen
pre-
A. Smith.
I appreciate you saying that because I think most people are, Kelly, what's up, bro? What's going on, fam? I think people are enamored with the prospects of being on TV, right? That's all they want to do. And that's cool. But you have to look at even Stephen A. Smith or Skip Bayless. These guys were newspaper writers for 20 plus years, even longer. You know what I mean? Like, you have to build up a level of respect to be able to secure those type of gigs. Now, I will say this. In this day and time with YouTube and all these different platforms and venues, there are alternative routes, just like there was an alternative route for me. I didn't write in the newspaper before because before, when I was trying to get into the league, I was asking other established writers, what do I got to do to get to this point? And most of them told me, well, you got to cover high school sports for us, cover high school sports for a newspaper. Do that for 5 years. Dominate that beat. Move up to college. Cover that beat. Dominate that. Then you get to an NBA beat. So basically, under that blueprint, I'm looking at a 10-year writing career doing something I have no aspirations of doing before I get to the NBA. I had no desire to do so. And it helped me because blogs, social media, and all that. So there are other ways. But the point is if anybody's going to take you seriously on TV, you got to have some type of credibility. And the only way you're able to get that credibility, if you're on the front lines as a reporter, being in the trenches, like building up your name. And that's important. You know, like I said, I think people are too enamored with being on TV. They think they can just jump on TV just because you play a sport or just because you know the game. It's not all about that. It's about who you know. What have you done? What perspective do you have? You know what I'm saying? What perspective do you have with players, the relationships you have? How is that going to help you on air? I don't want to hear anybody can talk sports, but do you have any credibility? And that's the big key. So, hold on. I didn't ask you a question. So what to do as a writer, as a reporter, continue to read read your favorite writer stuff. Read different people. Pick up like the nuances in which how they write and just, gather as much as you can and put it in a bowl and blend it into your own stuff and create you. There's nothing wrong with, I'm not going to say stealing, but you taking something from over there, taking something from over there. I like that. I'm going to build it, I'm going to do that. That's what you do. That's what you do. You got to continue to read other people's work. That makes you more of a better writer than anything.
Okay, got you. I didn't know if you was not finished talking. That's why I was quiet. I really enjoyed that last part. Something else that I want to hit on before we go ahead and get up out of here. You had mentioned relationships. What is your relationship like with the players in order to gain that credibility?
There's a couple players that I have to thank, and I would be lying if I said that my relationship with players didn't help my career. I still have a job to do, and they understand that. And sometimes my job does conflict with what they want to what they want to do, but I have a job to do. But I'd be lying if I didn't say Damian Lillard, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, CJ McCollum. Like, those guys were really kind of like the foundation of what got of how my name got out there to the public. And because even though we're in a social media era, everybody texts and everything, word of mouth is still strong. And I think once Dame and LeBron and Kevin Durant, I think once they talk about you to their peers in a good light, once they reference you as, that's a guy you can trust. You know, that's a guy who you can give a story to, and they're going to do it right. That's a guy who understands my upbringing, so he can tell it better than someone who didn't grow up like him. And so they definitely have helped my career. But I also think I'm a solid dude, man. You know what I mean? I'm a stand-up dude. I think if you ask around, not just players, ask executives, ask coaches around the league, they say I'm a stand-up guy, man. You know what I mean? I'm not a backstabbing guy. You know, I do what I say, and I say what I do, and so and I'm fair. I'm fair. One thing I would say this. So when I was covering LeBron, I do this from this day. My first year covering LeBron in Cleveland, I had wrote this article that was critical of him. I was critical of his leadership tactics. This is when he was kind of semi calling Kevin Love out on social media, like fit in or fit out, or whatever. Things weren't going that good with him and Kyrie as well. So I kind of like criticized his leadership tactics. The next day, I'm in the locker room. He pulls me to the side. He's like, bro, let me talk to you. He was like, I have no problem with you writing something critical because that's what you're supposed to do. That's your job. But he said, at least I feel like our relationship is good enough to where you should be able to come up to me and ask me, why am I doing things a certain way? And I should be able to explain to you why it is I'm doing it this way. He said, now, if you still feel you need to go over there and write your version of it or write your narrative, I'm fine with that. But at least allow me to tell you why I'm doing things that way. And so from this point on, that was legit. That was smart. I was like, you're right. I can do that. Like, let me get a better understanding of what it is that you're going through, what it is you're doing before I go out and write my perspective. You know, part of having a perspective is getting their perspective.
Yes.
So your perspective is better. So that's what I do. Like whenever there is a time for me to be critical, I make sure I go to the players and I tell them what I'm thinking. And I ask them, can you give me some feedback or give me your position on this? And players respect it. They respect it because now they know that they're not going to wake up in the morning and just see that I just ripped them. Like, they're going to know that, you know, Chris came up to me and I expect that, and I respect that. That's a professional way to do it. So that's it.
Well, this has definitely been one of my favorite interviews. Much respect to you, Mr. Haynes. Before
Hold
we get
on,
out of here.
Chris, hold on, man. You probably said that. I'm going to go back and look at your live you did with Carrie Champion. You probably told her the same thing.
Okay, and when you go back on there and you see that I did not say that, I want you to hit me up and be like, my bad, lil bro. That's my fault. Before we get out of here, if anybody wanted to connect with you or follow you during you covering the Orlando and everybody's in the bubble, if anybody wants to follow you, how can they do that?
Man, they can go on my Twitter at Chris B. Haynes. That's where I'm, posting my stories, breaking news right there. But this Instagram Live, like, I'm starting to get the hang of this live thing. And so, you can catch me while I'm here in the bubble. I give you, some access, behind the scenes access to the bubble, how everything is, being conducted here. And I'll go to some practices. I may go live on some live practices. So this Instagram is a good platform to give you guys a little peek behind the curtain.
It definitely is, because if it wasn't for IG Live, I wouldn't be talking to you right now.
No, for sure. That's technology right there, man.
Most definitely.
Hey, bro, get out that suit, man. It's 9:30, man.
I can't get out the suit yet. until I go off the air. Until I go off the air. Because guess what? If I could have worn
Hey,
my wave cap, we could have been the
hey,
wave cap brothers today. That's what we could have did.
hey, man, I respect your grind, man, and like I said, man, little things, excuse my language, little shit like this, man, like you having this suit on, being professional, that stands out to people. So always, man, the first impression is big, period. In any walk of life, any profession, man, you doing that, man, that speaks volumes, man. So I'm gonna always remember that, man.
Appreciate it. And hopefully I see you down the road.
All right, bro. You take care.
You too. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Haynes on the Chris Gunther Show. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all next time.